that. Okay, so first I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby, and I'm a part of the First State Lipedema team. Today, we are here with Dr. Shapira and Clover, who is one of Dr. Shapira's lipedema patients. Dr. Shapira and Clover are here to answer your questions about lipedema, but first I would like to introduce both of them. First off, Dr. Shapira has been practicing cardiothoracic surgery since the late 1980s. He opened First State Vein and Laser Center in 2011. Dr. Shapira then became familiar with lipedema and learned that the knowledge that it was deficient. Now, Dr. Shapira treats women with all stages of lipedema from all over the United States with water jet-assisted liposuction. And now, Clover, would you like to introduce yourself? You're muted first, Clover. Sorry.
That was a rough start. Hi, everyone. I'm Clover. I'm 47 years old, and I have had quite a journey with lipedema, some of which I didn't realize I had lipedema. So I'm going to give you a quick history. I think everybody's most interested with the question and answer session, so I'm going to try to be quick. I'm going to check out my notes, but I don't know that I knew I had a problem until my first pregnancy. So that dates back to about 2005. I have a 16-year-old son, and I just did not bounce back from the pregnancy. I was able to get my abdomen and my back and my torso back into shape, but my butt was still huge. My legs were bigger than ever, and it just felt weird. I didn't think much about it until my second pregnancy, which was in 2009. And again, my torso bounced back, but the rest of me was bigger than it had been with my first child. At this point, self-confidence erodes. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I wasn't able to do the activities that I thought I would be able to do with my kids. My son was active in soccer. It hurt to play soccer with my child. I'd get these massive bruises on my legs just for playing kick with my son. So I really didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought something was wrong with me, but it was all am I crazy? Am I crazy? That is one thing that constantly went through my mind. So basically from the birth of my second child until 2015, I was just living the life of a mother with young kids and revolving my world around them. I was on the back burner. My self-care, my health, everything was kind of on a back burner, and self-confidence continues to erode, painful legs. Everything starts happening to me, and I think I'm just getting older and I'm tired. If I could get more sleep, if I could do this, if I could do that, everything would be better, but it didn't get better. 2015, a childhood friend of mine that I wasn't even really close to posts on Facebook about lipedema, and it was a light bulb moment. I started Googling it, and the little bit of documentation that I could find on it, I could check all the boxes. I had the column-like legs. I had this huge ankle cuff. I had painful legs. They always felt swollen. They bruised easily. My feet were always cold. My hands were always cold. I just had all the telltale signs, hypothyroidism, vitamin D deficiency, all these things that now are obvious correlations with lipedema. And it was a light bulb moment. And so then I got really excited because I've self-diagnosed myself. I've got this, and I'm going to, dig into it. And that's when I hit the wall, because I found that most all the surgeons were in Europe. It was going to involve multiple surgeries, and it was going to cost out of pocket. So here I was, a young mom with no extra money and looking at trips to Europe. It wasn't going to happen. It was like this light bulb moment, and then this crash of, well, that sucks. That's never going to happen. And so I kind of gave up on the whole thought of lipedema and I didn't think about it. Meanwhile, my self-confidence continues to erode. The only time I really dared to think about it was before my annual primary care physician appointments, because I was trying to convince her to diagnose me. And I think you're all aware of this ugly cycle that we go through where physicians or endocrinologists or anybody that we talk to about this, they think we have two heads and they don't understand the condition. And so they just poo-poo it. And they think I'm a closet eater and I'm gaining weight because I'm not exercising and all these things that I knew weren't true, but it just consistently erodes your self-image. Meanwhile, the pain is increasing, the daily activities are decreasing. And so it was kind of a miserable time for me. And then 2020 came and we all know what happened in 2020 and it's this big negative, but it actually was a positive for me in that I got a virtual consult with Dr. Shapira, and I don't know how long it would have taken me to decide to drive 4 hours to see him. So that virtual appointment was big for me. And things started opening up at that point. Another thing that happened in 2020 is my father almost died from falling off a roof. And I had to advocate for his care in the hospital. And that, even though it was a negative thing, was a positive because it taught me how to advocate for myself. So when Dr. Shapira submitted all of the paperwork for insurance and they said no, I said, don't tell me no. And so that's when Dr. Shapira and I really fought and we were able to get insurance coverage. And so 2020 was rough, but 2021 is looking up. So at this point, the last 6 months, I've had 4 different procedures with Doc, the last of which was only 3 weeks ago. So that's my story. And I'm sure you all have some questions later.
Yeah, thank you, Clover. So if anyone wants to start off with a question, you can either put it in a chat or raise your hand and we would love to answer it.
I'm 73. And can anything be done for me at 73?
I think I'll let Doc take that question.
Because I just self-diagnosed in 2020 and then went to a vascular doctor who confirmed.
Seems
Doc,
like
we can't hear you. Do you need help?
I knew we'd have to have a dry run with him. I hope I'm on mute.
One second, sorry, everyone.
Where's Carol?
Okay.
Now we can hear you. Go ahead, answer the question.
Carol, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you saw somebody about 2 years ago, a vascular surgeon.
No, I just saw the vascular surgeon this year. I had been looking for liposuction because I've known that my legs it looked like two people screwed together. Two people, the top person looks like skinny and the bottom person has these trunk-like legs. And it's been like this my whole life. And I was looking for liposuction and came across lipedema and I went, oh my God, that's me.
So
And
that, first of all, what you tell, oh no, I can. First of all, the story that you say that you self-diagnose yourself, it's very common. Most patients are self-diagnosed. The current situation that most providers don't know about lipedema. And most of the patients that I see are self-diagnosed, and they're trying to teach the providers that they have lipedema. And some of the providers will buy that, and sometimes they say, I don't know anything about it, and they move forward. I think Clover had the same situation. That's number one. Clover, did you know that you have lipedema, or you self-diagnosed?
I self-diagnosed when I finally got the keyword lipedema and could do a Google search. I
Yeah, so
self-diagnosed.
mhm,
So, Carol, that's very common. And most providers will come and tell you, go home, go on diet, lose weight, and exercise, which doesn't work.
no,
That's number one. Number two, you're asking about your age. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you're too old for that?
no, I don't.
So that's the answer. That's the answer. There's no age limit. There's no age limit, period.
I would like to be able to wear shorts in the summer or even capri pants without being afraid that everybody's staring at my ankles.
Well, I cannot address that, but
I mean, they look at me like, oh, she's so skinny on top and then she's this
But if
huge
you
person on
want-
the bottom.
if you want to talk, if you come to the point that you want insurance to cover for that, don't tell them that you want to do it for appearance purposes.
Right. Oh, no, I've always bruised easily throughout my life, and I never understood why I would get these terrible bruises on my legs.
I understand. Do you have a lot of pain?
No one, that's the one thing I don't have, is a lot of pain.
So why do you think you have lipedema?
Because of the distribution of the fat on my legs, and because I did go to the vascular doctor who has diagnosed me with stage 1 lipedema.
Let me see. Well, he may be right, but without seeing you, of course, I cannot be more specific. But your original question, is the age limit? The answer is no.
No.
There are limits by medical issues that patients may have that make surgeries too risky, but I found it very rare among my patients.
Okay.
And by the way, surgery is not the only answer to lipedema. There are many medical or conservative modalities that can be applied and can be quite effective, and at least to help or to reduce the symptoms. So surgery is not the only modality.
Okay. Thank you.
Carol, where do you live? Because we can
Baltimore.
also do, Dr. Shapira can do a virtual consultation if you're far away.
Actually, I'm not. I'm in Baltimore.
Oh, good.
It's
Okay.
like about an hour, I think, or an hour. So I checked. I think it's, not that far a drive. I think it's straight up 95.
Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of patients from that area. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Next
you.
question.
Julie, you were, I saw your hand raised. Do you want to speak now?
Sure. Hi, Dr. Shapira. I've been down to see you a couple times. I've been having throughout much my entire adult life, I've had pains in my legs and could never understand what they were from. And about, I'm going to say, I guess it's been a little over a year ago, I was sitting here in my home office and I kept looking at my arms and my wrists are getting bigger and bigger. So of course, wonderful Google, I Googled it and I saw a picture of somebody with lipedema and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly me with my arms and my legs. So I did further research, reached out to my insurance company. They gave me some people around here. I live near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They gave me some people around here and one of them told me that they only deal with lipedema or lipedema if you've been in a car accident. So I didn't quite understand what that was, but then I came across Dr. Shapira and I researched and I got a hold of him and I had the virtual consultation and then I came down to see him. I've done everything that I was asked. I went and had the lymphedema massages. I've been to the physical therapy. I've changed my medications. I have my bio just about done, and I just keep feeling hesitant to submit it. And mind you, my husband has numerous medical issues, so I'm his sole caregiver for that. So I know about advocating for somebody. And for some reason, and I don't know what's holding me back, I have trouble advocating for myself because I think I'm more of a caregiver than I am for taking care of myself. And one of my biggest fears, and I don't know why, is the procedure really painful? I mean, I know Dr. Shapira, we've discussed that I would need to have 3 procedures to do this, but what holds me back is it painful and how long am I going to be out of commission for each procedure?
From a pain point perspective, I think it's really hard to say because I think people have different tolerance levels for pain. And when somebody previously said that, you know, they don't have painful legs, when I first thought I had lipedema, I didn't think I had painful legs either. But it's kind of a point of over time acclimating to your pain level and normalizing it sometimes. And so I know that I had normalized a high level of pain now looking back. So that's one concept I'd like people to think about. As far as on the table pain, there are instances where it's quite uncomfortable, but for the most part, if you take that bulk of the surgery time and isolate how much cumulative time I actually said ouch or it hurt, it's very minimal. The good thing about the nitrous oxide is that I just kind of felt like I was in a nice place. I do some deep breathing and I was able to take my mind to a happy place sometimes, but there were long stretches of time that there was absolutely no discomfort whatsoever. And then maybe, I don't know if he hit a nerve or maybe he hit a little deep and tapped into my muscle and I said, ouch. And he said, okay, that hurt, sorry. And he adjusts and maybe I need more pain medication in that area. So there was an infusion of the anesthetic there. So I liked being awake for the procedure because I felt a little bit more in control of the whole process. If I hurt, I could tell him. And I kind of think that under general anesthesia, there can be a lot of hurt done that nobody knows about, you know, and then it causes recovery issues. So for me, I liked being awake, but then again, I've never had general anesthesia, but I don't know. I didn't think the pain was that terrible. Some of the recoveries, I did take 2 weeks off from work for each procedure. And I think that was good. My arms, I could have gone back a little bit earlier, but that worked for me.
My arms are, for me, I'm very self-conscious, more about my arms. I'm self-conscious about my legs because you put on a pair of jeans, they're really loose in the waist, but they're so tight on your legs that you can't get comfortable. And with working from home, thankfully, I live in sweatpants or pajama bottoms because it's most comfortable. I don't wear t-shirts outside the house because I am so self-conscious about it. My arms are a little painful. My legs, especially in cold weather, are so painful that there's days that I don't get out of bed until after noon, and trying to explain to my husband that no, I didn't sleep for 15 hours. I found a comfortable spot to lay in and I didn't want to move because I felt like I wasn't in pain at that point. But the pain, I mean, it is so incredible when it hits that I can lay in bed and just cry because it hurts so bad. And I've been using those salon pause patches and I slap them all over my legs just to get a little bit of relief. So I know in my heart of hearts, and my husband keeps pushing me that I really need to get my bio in to you guys so we can submit to the insurance. So I can get this taken care of. And
Linda, just checking to make sure you're okay. That's
Yep.
all. Hope you're having a good, dreary day. Not really, but I hope you're having a good day.
So I just really, I mean, I know in my heart of hearts, I just need to get this done.
To tell-
Wait, hold on. This is it. Right here.
Julie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. At certain point, you have to think about yourself in order to be able to care for your disabled husband. I mean,
And I realize that.
there's
I
no
get-
way around it. And
Yep.
the sooner you accept this, I think the decision becomes easier. I mean, so that should motivate you to move, to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
I think it's complicated situation emotionally and for many respects, but actually the answer is very simple. That's the goal, to take care of yourself so you can take care of himself and yourself in the future. So everything should be kind of set up around this goal so you can do that. Now, just to add a little bit to what Clover said about pain, because that's the other part of your question. I favor very strongly local anesthesia rather than general anesthesia. And for a variety of reasons, but one of them is it makes a recovery definitely faster. The immediate recovery, Clover, I don't know how long Clover stayed in the office after we did 4 or 5 hours procedure, but probably not more than an hour and a half or 2 hours. And half of, what's that?
Nothing.
And half of that, and part of the time was when she had her lunch, while she's still on the bed, so she had a lunch, because we serve lunch, kind of to recover, to drink, blah, blah. So she had lunch and then cleaned and dressed and home. Not home, because she lives, I don't know, 5 hours from here, but she went to the hotel with her mother, and that's it. Clover took 2 weeks, I'm sorry, after each procedure, but probably Clover could do with less time, depends on what she has to do. Depends what you do. If you take care of your husband, maybe just be there or do some help, you may be able to do it maybe after a few days. So it's very, I never went through the operation myself, so Clover probably can address it, or through our FaceTime group, you really can communicate directly and discreetly with other patients and get their input about it. You're not the first one to go through that, but don't, you have to think about yourself for the sake of your husband.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, it seems, it's, I don't know the word that I'm looking for. It seems like obvious that that's what you need to do, but when you're so used to taking care of somebody else, it seems like you tend to put yourself on the back burner. And I know that that's not healthy, that's not good, because you're right, you have to take care of yourself to be able to take care of somebody else. So,
How long ago since I saw you? How long ago was that?
it was probably like last, I'm gonna say June, when I came in to see you, and let me tell you, so much has happened since then with my husband. I don't wait for the other shoe to drop. It's like the other shoe store, because when something hits him, it just,
If you want,
it's big.
what we can do, I can ask Stephanie, our coordinator. She cannot participate today in the meeting, but she'll join us next time. I can ask her or Keisha to let's have like 15 or 30 minutes a Zoom conversation, you and me, and we'll see where you stand in terms
Okay,
of the application, pre-authorization and all that, and we'll try to move from there.
okay, and I will, like I said, my daughter did a fantastic job in helping me with my bio, because it's hard for me to put the things into words. I just want to tweak it a little bit, so maybe after work today, I can get that done and at least get that over to you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Robin next.
Where's Robin?
Hi, everyone. For those of us who exercise and have not seen much improvement with, our lower extremities due to lipedema, Dr. Shapira, have you noticed that after the surgery, after the lipo, have those individuals been able to start seeing some definition and changes in their lower extremities after the surgery?
You're talking about improve the shape of the legs. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yes, improving the shape of the legs, but then also starting to see, decreasing through exercise.
I think exercise, I think you'll be able to exercise. How old are you, Robin?
I'm 43.
43. And you like, what kind of exercise you're talking about?
Well, currently I work out 6 days a week. I do high intensity interval training, which you told me on Monday to not do. But once the surgery is complete, I wanted to know if I could, even if I'm working out and it's not high intensity interval training, but if I were to do something with lower impact, will I see a reduction in my legs? Of course, through healthy eating and exercising regularly, will I start seeing the reduction that I've seen already in my upper extremities?
You will see reduction. How much reduction? I saw you like a few days ago, right, Robin?
Yes, you saw me on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. We never had we never had a chance to discuss it so much. We spent about more than 2 hours just talking without even me talking about what will happen after. You'll have reduction, and I remember your shape very well, vivid in my. It's vivid in front of me, but it's not. What shape not totally abnormal will not come perfect. I can guarantee you it will not. Look at it, but it will be better. There'll be less, there'll be better shape and less pain. I want to explain though that why, look at the procedure, and I think that's very important to everybody understand, because although everybody wants to look better, that's part of our culture. That's obvious. But the purpose of the procedure is not to improve shape or appearance, but to improve symptoms. That's very important. And if you experience improvement in shape, and everybody improves in shape, look at it as a bonus, not as the goal. And we talk to the insurance company, don't mention appearance of shape because they're totally denying it. How much shape improvement we can expect? Let me give you the analogy. Let's assume we have a grapefruit, okay? And you cut it to half and you squeeze all the juice out of it, okay? Empty, no juice, and let it go. It'll be about the same dimension, it will not be smaller. Now with time, it will shrink somewhat, but will not be perfect. Now, the analogy here is that we remove the fat, but we don't remove the connective tissue, everything that, all the tissue that's surrounding the fat. Like in the grapefruit, we don't remove the pulp, we just remove the juice. And we do it on purpose because you need all this connective tissue. That's what you have lymphatics, right? That you have on the nerve, that's where you have the blood supply. That would provide the healing. So we do not remove the pulp. Therefore, you'll not see perfect shape after that. Women who have this kind of ankles or the hips are enlarged, disproportionately enlarged, they'll be smaller. They will shrink some, but will not be perfect. And I personally don't want to be more aggressive because I think I can interfere with your lymphatics and with the healing. If later on someone wants to work on the shape, later on I think it's okay, because by then your tissues normalize, then you can do that. But I'm very much I'm against addressing using, well, some surgeons use like laser or radio frequency, Wasser, all kind of method to improve the shape. I think that can be counterproductive, and I've seen complications from that.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
So it says we only have a minute less or less than a minute. We're trying to work things out, but if it ends right now, because it says 40 minutes, it's on Zoom. If it ends right now, I'm gonna get to everyone. Since I recorded it, I have everyone's names who wrote down questions. So I'm gonna email everyone. Make sure you also follow the First State Lipedema group and the page. Yeah, so sorry about that. Thank you everyone for cooperating with us, but if it does end early, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys, or you could also email careteam@firststatemedspa.com. Thank you. You can keep on talking now.
So how long do we have?
It says less than a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Robin, that's the answer to you.
Can I just say something? We'd like to answer everyone's